Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and for today's video we're trying to be a little bit informational here, but still within the niche that is J entertainment, J drama, J music. You get the idea. Now, most of the stuff that I'll be talking about this is based on my own experience, but I'll also be referring some stuff from Isa. So thank you so much, Isa, for sharing your article about this with me. I'll be putting this down in the description below because hers is a lot more detailed. She's a lot more experienced when it comes to purchases for albums and merch and stuff like that. So definitely down in the description below. This one will be more of like a mesh of some information that I got from her article and at the same time my own experience from the past couple of years. But the thing is, the reason why I'm making this video is personally for me, it's been a while since I've made my own purchases. So having to do it again this year was a bit nerve-wracking for me because I didn't know what to expect anymore. So we changed addresses, and the last time that I think I actually made a purchase from Japan to here in the Philippines was around, I don't know, 2014, 2015. The reason for that is because ever since I started traveling to Japan, it's a lot more easier to just get your goods there. So now this year, you know, not being able to like travel, so that's definitely the option that I had to go for. And when I was trying to look up, you know, how much things have changed when it comes to receiving packages here in the Philippines or just tracking, or how long would it take given Corona, I noticed that a lot of information on the internet right now about, you know, just J merch to the Philippines is definitely outdated. So some of the sources that I found are around like 2015, 2016. There are a lot of horror stories on the internet now about like getting the stuff that you buy from Japan to PH. So it's definitely caused a lot of anxiety, and that's a reason why I'm making this video as well. So just to share my own experience as to how the packages are, or how I did my orders and stuff like that. And just for current sources, especially that here in the Philippines, it's not like Korean drama or music merch where there are like a lot of sellers here already. But for PH, unfortunately, that's not the case. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. For the intents and purposes of this video, I would just stick to more J-drama, J-music type of purchases or buys. And the reason for this is because I feel like for anime or like action toys or anything like that, it's a lot more accessible now here in the Philippines, even for J-beauty. So I'll be focusing more on like entertainment related purchases for this video, so just putting it out there as well. Since this is for my Filipino mutuals, so I'll probably be code switching in this video as well, something that I don't think I ever have done here on my channel. And the reason for that is not because, you know, for anything else. Like, I speak Filipino and Tagalog on a daily basis. It's not like I can't. That's why I'm using English in my videos. But it's really more of just I hate the sound of my voice in Tagalog when I'm recording it. So that's how we ended up here today. But for the intents and purposes of this video, who knows? I might be speaking some Tagalog here and there. So there's also that. Now, with that said, let's just get to it. Let's start with the first one that needs lesser commitment, that is a lot more accessible, but mas madali pa rin kayong mabubudol. We're talking about digital purchases. This is for people who are still a bit iffy about, you know, shipping and all these things, but would still want to, you know, support some of their mains with buying stuff from here and there. And the thing with this is these apps will be the death of me because it's a lot easier to just get your hands on them. Now, again, since they're digital purchases, they obviously like stick more to like your phone or anything like that. But thankfully, thanks to Odette for sharing this with me, because I honestly like didn't know this, even if I've been purchasing some stuff from these apps already, is that these apps also, like, you can access it through the files from your phone, so you can save them as PDF or anything like that. And for me, as compared to like scans, these are also a lot more crisper in terms of the quality of the graphics. So screenshotting all those favorite shot of yours from your favorite celebrities from these apps, is definitely a lot easier. So let's start with the first one, which is YesAsia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but they're a magazine company, and they have their app where you can do in-app purchases. They have titles such as Myojo, Makia, 17, Nonon, and all of these things. And sobrang daming times na akong nabudol nitong app na to. Especially for the past couple of months, since King and Prince has been gracing the covers of a lot of magazines since August. So there are a lot of, like, I already did a lot of purchases in this particular app. And they have a lot of titles, which is good. And you can also see, and they also provide like previews of what you see or what you're going to see in the magazine. So it's a lot more easier for you to decide on whether you want to get it or not. But so far, so good. Like, and the thing with this is that personally, I'm also into J beauty, J fashion. So it's not a problem for me to sort of like buy these types of magazines, not just because of whoever it is on the cover, or if there's a feature that I want to check out or anything like that. So far for me, it's kind of good. Like, the prices of the magazines that you can buy from the app is around 200 to 300 pesos. So it's definitely a lot easier to just, tap it there and then make your purchase and anything like that. So, but there's that. Another app is Mist. This one I only bought it because of one issue where Hirano shows the cover, but they also have a lot of like other titles in their app. But for this one, I haven't really found anything of interest ever since that particular cover. So over Mist, I highly suggest YesAsia instead. iTunes and Google Play, surprisingly, is also a good platform to just look for J-related stuff. So whether it be like ebooks, books, magazines, movies, music from your favorite artists, you can check it out from there. So prices are actually not that bad. So it's really, really so easy to just spend money on these apps. Move on to the next part, which is talking about albums and merch. So first one, this one, pretty straightforward, CD Japan. Now, I know that a lot of people who I know buy from CD Japan. It's pretty straightforward. I like their interface. It's very, very friendly. It's easy to just, navigate through the site. And they really like present the prices to you up front, like from the actual fee of the product, shipping, handling fee if you're using their proxy service. So it's pretty straightforward like that. And to me, I guess this is one of the easiest ways to get your hands on albums or the like. They have many shipping options. They have many payment options. You also earn points from the purchases, so that you can use for future transactions. So for people who are constantly on there, so you still get a little bit of like rewards for the purchases that you do. And their packaging is really, really, really good. Like, if you've seen my unboxing videos, then you would know the struggle that I have opening the boxes. But they're really good in terms of how they package your items, posters, anything like that, albums, well secure. So I highly recommend them. The only downside to CDJ is that they don't, like, your purchases don't count on the Oricon chart. So if you're very particular about that, so I'll be providing other options later on, but that's one thing. And their customer service is also kind of slow for other inquiries, but I think I messaged them once about refunds and they're quite fast on that. So I think that's what matters, since it's more money. But then if you're asking them about certain things on technicalities and stuff like that, about helping you out with shifting things around with their account or anything like that, so they're pretty slow in that aspect. But so far, like albums or any other merch or stuff like that, they're really a good source, even for magazines. And it's really easy to just buy from CDJ. So I highly recommend them. This one is the Japan. Now this one is the proxy service that I used for when I bought my concert goods recently. And this proxy service is also quite easy. You can either shop on site from like Amazon, Rakuten, all that, or you can shop by the request service. Now I use the request service because obviously like Johnny's online store, they don't ship internationally, so I use the request service for this one. They don't have management fees, so for your first purchase you just buy whatever is the prices on the website that you're getting the stuff from. Second payment, now you pay for the Japan, you pay two times. The first time is just, you know, the actual purchase, and then the second time is for the second payment, which you do when the products already arrive at their warehouse, or they're going to inform you about this, and then that's only when you're going to pay the second payment, which is the domestic shipping plus the actual shipping to your country. Now it's kind of tricky in a way, because if you don't know how much the domestic shipping is going to cost, so it might like blow your mind as to how your second payment is going to go. But to me, I guess it gives you a little bit more time to save up as well, because for me, like, it took I think a month for the products to get to the warehouse, and so, you know, having intervals of the payments is also a bit more helpful. Now it's also but one tricky thing about the Japan is that when you're like placing your order, there's an option to either, you know, for a consolidating one, and then a one where your package sort of like is just keep it at that individually. And when you click on the consolidation part, they say that, you know, it's free, but actually they charge 100 yen per item to consolidate your packages. Whether or not like you take that option or not, so I don't know, maybe I was just too tired and anxious to question that, but that's definitely one thing about their service. But overall, like, I didn't really have much of a problem except for that one. And they store products up to 30 days for free in their warehouse. So if you're still waiting for other products to arrive and everything like that, so for 30 days, it's free. And then it's, I think, 100 yen per month while your products are like stuck to their warehouse. But so far, like, I didn't have any other issues with using their proxy service. And my package was really well packaged as well. Like, I bought a pamphlet. I was quite worried that it might get folds or anything like that, but it's really well packaged. And so I don't know, so far, like, I like that, aside from just a whole weird consolidation thing that they have. But yeah, other than that, like, so far it's fine. Now, next one is Amazon Japan, and then using Tenso J shoppers. Now for Amazon Japan, usually here, this one is a treasure trove for just purchases in general. You can find a lot of like really good stuff, whether it be like older versions of like magazines or albums or anything like that, or just merch in general. But the thing is, it doesn't, like, in most cases, it doesn't ship directly from Japan to Philippines. So what you do is use a forwarding service for that. Now, initially, I tried Tenso before as well, but they can be a little bit steep when it comes to pricing. So now it's a good thing, because I found out from Isa that the J Shoppers one is a lot more cheaper in a way. There are a lot of like there are like a couple of like handling fees or prices on top of shipping that you have to buy when you're using this service. And for J Shoppers as well, like, you have to send them proof of identity and all of these types of like registration things because of certain laws in Japan. Well, because I know that a lot of other like J fans also use this type of method. Next one is one of my favorites. So ilang beses na rin ako nabudol nito. HMV Japan. So they have a lot of offerings from like books, albums, mangas. Their face is very clean. I like how everything is sorted, because I really hate it when I go to a website or request service or anything like that and it's honestly so chaotic. So if you're into like very clean, very easy to understand interface, so HMV Japan, definitely. The thing of this is that your only option is credit card. So even if they have a PayPal option, if you're an international buyer, credit card is the way to go for this one. EMS is their only way of shipping. I don't have any problems with EMS at the moment. So that's kind of cool too. But so far, that's my only thing here, because I usually use PayPal whenever I'm buying my merch. So credit card, so that's their only option for international buyers. But honestly, like HMV, so far, good experience. It's just that the thing with this is I think I bought like magazines or something from them before, and if they're paper products, so they sort of like fold it or I don't know, or just for paper products alone, I don't know, they're not particularly careful with like paper or like poster type of products, I know. So that's one thing, I guess. But for other purchases, I highly recommend them. So there's definitely that. Is YesAsia. So this one is another treasure trove for purchases. And this one, so as I mentioned earlier, CDJ doesn't count for Oricon charts. This one does. They're an official partner, and interestingly enough, if you buy around something above $59, so that's around 2.8 to 3,000 pesos, it's free shipping. So more chances na mabudol here. When you're choosing this one, so don't choose the split shipping option. So it's all about, consolidating your products in one go. And then they allow for credit card and PayPal. And this one caused me less anxiety because they really ship fast. It's just that during Rona, they stopped shipping to the Philippines for quite some time, but I think they're back on track now. So this one definitely okay as well. Like I think I bought a couple of, not really albums, but some merch from them some time ago, and it was pretty I like how when I received the product, so there's definitely that, like that plus side there. And they have a lot of good stuff here too, so talagang grabe if you're up for shopping galore for stuff. YesAsia. Ano yung mapa-yes ka na lang, tapos pagkita mo na lang doon sa price, doon ka na mapapano. Pero, yun talaga. Now, here's one thing na that's interesting to me is that if you're a specific Johnny's fan, so I found this shop just recently. Haven't really purchased anything from them yet, but I feel like someday I will. Johnny's a tenchi shop, so they're based here in the Philippines. So very, very rare for us to have this, so that's why I'm including them in this video as well. But recently, like, they had a sale where they sold like pen lights, old pen lights from years back, uchiwas, all these things. But their store is specifically for Johnny's fans. So if you're a Johnny fan here in the Philippines, check out their store. We'll be putting a link to their shop down in the description as well. And I also, like, I've been seeing interactions from the admin as well, and they seem to be really, really nice, and that's why it's also particularly helpful to have this and to find out about their shop. So there's that. Now, let's talk about shipping. So I'll be focusing more on EMS because it's been years since I actually used other methods. So I'm going to be talking about my EMS experience in this particular video. Now, definitely can be a bit pricey compared to airmail or SAL, which these types of shipping methods, they land directly to your post office. And they also take a little bit longer. So if you're impatient like me, EMS, way to go. There are some cases I've heard from other people that there are some cases that you have to pick it up from your post office as well. Now, when I was living in a different city, I received a delivery via EMS as well, and they brought it directly to my house. Same thing with this one. I called our local post office to inquire about this, and they informed me that EMS supposedly should be door to door. It's just that I'm not sure what happens with other cases, why they have to pick it up in their PO. Because according to our postal service here in where I'm currently living, they have to at least attempt 3 times to deliver it in your house before they actually issue a notice for you to pick it up to your post office. So I'm not particularly sure. I mean, I feel like this has something to do with the PH postal system, but I think for me, what's the advantage is that our PO or post office is quite helpful and a lot responsive when it comes to answering inquiries about the packages. I remember finding out about my package landing here in the Philippines, and when I called them, they replied that, like, on some cases you can easily tell if your package is going to land in your house or in your PO just based on the tracking number alone or tracking code alone. So apparently I've been getting my packages as EL, and that means that that should be limited or express, so it has to arrive directly in my house. For other people that I've asked, some of them, their tracking code starts with EJ, and it either lands door to door or they have to get it at their post office. So it's really quite tricky. So I highly suggest that you also ask your post office if they're responsive. Hopefully they are. Not the EMS office in Pasay, but really more of like finding out where your local post office is or where your house is being covered in terms of like the postal service. Call them up, ask them about it so that you're already aware even before your package arrives. Either way, whether you pick it up or they deliver it to your house, you have to prepare 112 pesos as the postal fee. That's standard. Back when I was receiving packages I couldn't remember what year that was. It was only 110 then, but now it's 112. But you should never pay beyond 112 pesos if your packages do not exceed 10,000 pesos in value. Now, there are a lot of like horror stories here. Even Isa herself shared this on her Twitter recently, where sometimes the postman would, ask you for extra fees when delivering the product to you. But as long as the declared value of your packages is less than 10,000 pesos, not in yen, but pesos, you don't have to pay anything more than 112 pesos, which is the postal fee. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I mean, I've tweeted this, I've said this before. Si add to cart lang kayo magpapabudol, pero wag dun sa mga delivery services or extra fees like that. Grabe, sobrang, especially with Christmas season and everything like that, I think, I'm not saying that this is for all of like the PhilPost people or anything like that, because for us, the PhilPost people here where I live, they're practically very, very friendly. Like, I thought that I was gonna receive my package the next day because it's already way past 5 p.m. But the Kuya mailman, he still delivered the package given that supposedly I was to receive it that same day. So it really depends on the place. It's just that you have to be very careful because obviously there are really like those who would take advantage. I'll be putting a link down in the description below about the actual article saying that you don't have to pay fees if it's less than 10,000 pesos, so that you can show it to the mailman if ever they're being adamant about you paying extra fees. But yeah, you just have to be very, very careful. Now, extra reminders before we end today's video. So disinfect your packages. I know that it can be very, very exciting to receive your packages, especially this time around where we have where we don't exactly leave the house as much and anything like that. So whether it be J purchases or just regular deliveries that you get, try as much as possible to like quarantine it first, disinfect, everything like that. This is such a tita advice, but just do it. And other things, so again, putting other helpful sources down in the description, but I hope this somewhat helps. And if you have any other questions about, you know, purchases or anything like that, or where to get stuff, or just general experience, or you just want to fangirl, reach me in the links down in the description below. Just chat me up, or you can talk to me down in the comments. So there's also that. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this is helpful. And yeah, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you again in a new video.